All right, guys, we are all ready for Health Coach Academy Week 2 with Em and Dom. We are super pumped to take you through this call, and we can't wait to share. So we're going to get stuck right into it. Not going to waste any time. We're going to get stuck straight into it. So this quote we just popped in here just because we felt like it sort of summed up, where your thinking might be at for Week 2 of the Academy. So we just really wanted to emphasize that you have enough hours in your time. You just have too many excuses if you're using time as an excuse. And I know Dom and I, we have had issues with time in the past, being both full-time teachers and doing Herbalife very part-time. We have in the past maybe used time as an excuse, but it's time now to stop making that an excuse. You have enough hours, you just have to get to it and get to work. So that we felt like sort of summed up the call. But we want to make sure that you guys know that, surround yourself with as many people on the same mission as you. And you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So really take a look at who you're spending the most time with, and really make sure that it's people with the same passion, the same values, and on the same mission as you. So we're just going to go back to that pipeline, and you'll see this a lot over the next 4 weeks, next 3 weeks with the Academy. But if it's not a race and you could be wealthy in 5 years, why would you want it to take more than 10 years? You wouldn't. You would want to get there as quickly as you could. So really use that pipeline that Dom spoke about last week. So we're just sort of reminding you of it, using the invitation to the home or the shake party, then to an STS or a coach academy like what you're on now, then obviously over to an extravaganza, a world team training, a future get team training, future president's team retreat, and the Herbalife honors. So just make sure you're not plugging people in at pipeline stages that they haven't done the previous ones for. So like Dom said last week, you're not going to invite someone to an extravaganza who hasn't even been to, a shake party or a fit club or something like that. So we want to hear from a couple of you guys to share what has happened for you over the last week. So those on the live call, obviously if you're listening into the recording, we really want you guys to post, and quite a few of you have been, which is really awesome to see. But if you're on the live call now, we'd really love to hear from a couple of you. So just pop your hands up. We'd really like to hear, maybe if you listened to the Millionaire Team tape, what sort of stood out for you, maybe how your goal writing went. Maybe it was, you wanted to share your motivational quote that you posted. Maybe you'd like to share that. How did your COI go? Writing that out in your notebook. How many did you get? If you had any new customers, we'd absolutely love to hear how you got those. So if we got anyone with their hands up, we can hear from someone on the call. I know that Jess and Jade previously said that they would like to share. So I'll let Jess come on in, and then Jade, I'll unmute you. So Jess, come on in.
Hi guys. Sorry, that's my dryer in the background if it's really loud. Hopefully you can hear me. It's been a really great week, sort of all areas of life. But yeah, doing the homework and being a part of the Coach Academy has been really great, like just getting back to basics. I love the meal training tapes. It's something I've always tried to listen to with the Dare to Dream sort of each month. So it was good because I did Dare to Dream last month doing the meal team training tapes again. And I guess just the biggest thing from it is just employing yourself, just getting really clear on what needs to be done, daily, weekly, monthly, dependent on your goals. So it was just sort of it was interesting listening to it again, sort of where we are at the moment, and it just makes you sort of laugh and go, oh yeah, it's really that simple. We overcomplicate things way too much. And the same with the goals, just going back and really getting clear on what it is that we want to achieve. And I suppose just working backwards with that, and just really getting clear on our schedule and our show-up structure and our system that we're using, for ourselves, for our clients, for our members, and also for our organization, and just getting really clear. And it was just a really great week. I personally just finished a 7-day mindset challenge as well, and that's just really, again, just really helped me just get really clear on my product result, but also just things that you need to do daily. Like with anything that's a goal, it's about the little things that we do, those little choices that we make daily that actually result in the big things. So it's not actually about, being really perfect and trying to achieve all these things straight away. It's just about getting yourself into, I guess, daily habits, and then just that reflecting into, my goals, and also just reconnecting with a lot of people, clients that had dropped off. And I had 2 girls reorder, 1 new client, and 1 who's about to order, I think, this week. Also had a couple of my girls do their 500 volume points. So they're on their 35% now. That was a big goal for them. Just helping a couple of family and friends, and just really getting more confident and asking for referrals. And I'm really loving that part of the business now. So yeah, it was a really great week for me.
Thanks, Jess. That sounds like you had an amazing week. And I saw your girls that got to the 500 volume points, that got their 35%. So that's really cool that you've helped them do that. So thank you for sharing. Jade, I'm going to unmute you now, and you can come on in. You've had a big week too.
Yeah. So hi guys. So we actually committed to listening to the Millionaire Team Takes this time around. It's sort of something that we would start and then didn't have enough time to finish and never got back to. So they were really good, and I think we really needed to hear them at the moment. Just Michael and I are struggling a little bit with getting interest converted into orders, and just listening to them and just hearing about, we communicate with our feelings and that sort of thing, and it's all about your attitude, and so that was really good. And yeah, just working through setting goals, keeping up with that, and our daily itinerary. Got all the events in our calendar and all that sort of stuff. And Mum and I added in our final product this week as well. So the Herbal Lifeline. So we're now using everything, which is really exciting. And yeah, that's about it.
Hey, that's fantastic. I saw you posted about the Herbal Lifeline, so that's really cool that you've added that last product in. So that's amazing that you guys are using everything. So thank you for sharing, Jade. All right, cool. So we're going to get rolling with this. We're going to keep going, and I'm going to pass over to Dom now.
Alrighty, thanks, and hello guys, how you doing? I hope you're all well. Week 2 of our Coach Academy, which is exciting. So I'm just going to go through a couple of things, guys. The first thing I'm going to touch on here is, the ideal method of how to get yourself to supervisor in the first 3 months of business. Okay, now this is obviously in an absolutely ideal world. We know that everybody moves at their own pace, but this is a really, really good way to do it if you're somebody who's really committed, or possibly even to show a new member who's really, really keen, has got a lot of referrals already, and they really want to get into action. So the steps to the first 4,000 volume points, okay? Now, we know for supervisor, to get to the supervisor level, you've got to accumulate 4,000 volume points, between 1 to 12 months. And this is how to do it over 3 months. So you can see the first month there, you order enough product for yourself, plus 5 clients. Okay, now that may be ordering it, for 5 clients that you already have, or that may be ordering it as inventory to then obviously retail to new clients that you're going to get yourself throughout the month. If you want to, guys, if you do a 1,000 volume point order, you immediately become what we call the success builder, and you get 42% discount for the rest of that month. Okay, it's a really good way to purchase your products at a cheaper rate, because obviously, do the maths, you're earning a little bit more in terms of the retail there as well. Absolutely vital, guys. Hold a business launch or a shake party in that first month, ideally in the first week or 2 weeks, because that gives you a lot more time, okay, to really, really make sure you've got your business going, so you can follow up those leads, so you can follow up those interested people, and so you can obviously help out your new clients that you will have got. And write yourself out a 90-day plan and put it into action. Okay, we all know about 90-day plans. It's about 1 day doing something, 1 day consistently for 90 days. Okay, so write it out, talk to your coach about it, and put it into action. So the second month, you've already got yourself, a fantastic 1,000 volume points sitting away that you've accumulated towards the 4,000. Now what you need to do, guys, in that second month is to not only order your own product, but as well order for those 5 clients who are loving their product so much and they want reorders. Plus, find yourself 5 new clients. Okay. So, just guys, just make sure you're muted for me. There we go. All good. So what you've got now, 5 clients from the first month, 5 new clients, and enough product for yourself. And you're looking at around about 1,500 volume points. Okay. Obviously, once you do that, you're going to get 2,500, and you're going to reach that qualified producer level. So that means you lock in that 42% discount. Once again, you're going to work that 90-day plan consistently. And then, guys, on that 3rd month, you've already got yourself a pretty solid client base of 10 clients. We know the key is follow up there in terms of keeping them. You find yourself another 5 new clients. So you've got a pretty good base of 15 clients ordering. You want to place orders for yourself as well. And you'll probably end up with around 2,500 volume for that month. Now, if you do the maths, guys, you work out, well, we've easily got ourselves to that 4,000, volume points over those 3 months. We're even touching the 5,000 volume points there. Your 90-day plan momentum is building throughout that time, guys. Well, you know what? A 90-day plan is pretty much 3 months. We know that with 90-day plans, you probably need to do 2 or 3 back-to-back. And the first one, which is what you're doing here, is all about building the momentum. And the rest are about just continuing that momentum throughout the next few months. So there you go. Month 3, you're at 50% profit. So as a supervisor, you've got a client base around 15 to 20 people and a pretty solid part-time income of around $1,500 to $3,000 a month. That's based on if you're retailing ultimate programs, guys. So obviously we know it's different for every single person. Now, what's key to a 90-day plan and what's key to consistency, guys, is establishing what we call a DMO or a daily method of operation. So you might hear people talk about DMOs and you might think, well, what is that? What is a DMO? Basically, guys, a DMO or a daily method of operation is pretty much what it says. It's something that you do on a daily basis consistently for 90 days. Okay? So that might be something like flyers. Okay? If you're handing out 100 flyers on a daily basis, you could call that a daily method of operation. The whole idea of a daily method of operation, guys, is to invite. It's an invitation to get somebody to see a presentation. Now, the reason that we've got this, the Lean Glow, the Glow Lean Challenge example here is because this is a fantastic example of duplication through this particular DMO. So have a look at this, have a look at the numbers. I'm not going to read it all out to you guys because I'm sure you can all read and take screenshots and that sort of thing. But the thing I want you to look at is on that second column towards the bottom. It says, imagine the duplication. Okay, imagine the duplication. You can see the profits and stuff like that. We won't worry about that. What we will worry about is this one. After 12 months, if you had clients and you had new members signed up and they followed this same sort of plan, okay, you could end up with over 7,000 members, of which over 2,000 would be supervisors. Now, obviously, we know that's, big figures, and it doesn't always work out that way. Otherwise, you'd be, Pres team and you'd be absolutely smashing it, okay? But it's all about duplication, guys. If you can get yourself a DMO, that's easy to duplicate, that's easy for somebody else to do, it has a lot more impact on your business. Now, here's a Herbalife house, guys. You might hear a lot of the time people talking about the Herbalife house, the 2,500 volume points, and why it's so important. And why it is so important to be doing that 2,500, particularly as a supervisor, is because that's what unlocks your full 5% of your royalty overrides. So if you're not doing your 2,500 volume points, you're not getting your full 5% for the work that you're doing. Now, here's a pretty easy way, a pretty basic sort of way to represent this Herbalife house, guys. But once again, this is going to be different for every individual. Okay, the foundation of any house is your own personal product use. Now, this changes from person to person. Obviously, if you're only on sort of an ultimate program, then you're looking at around that 200 volume points a month. But if you're somebody, like myself and Emily, who are consistently using the ultimate plus the targeted nutrition, plus the skim range, plus the sports nutrition, you're easily looking at around 500 to probably even 600 volume points per person per month. So, pretty regularly our personal volume, our personal product use pretty well reaches 1,000, 1,200 a month. And that's literally just through using the product consistently on a daily basis and being the best example of the product. So that's your foundation. What you build on top of that, guys, is your client base. So if you're looking for, 5 new clients every month, and if they're ordering shake to yellow, that's around about that 100 volume points. You're looking at 500 volume points a month. So add those two together, you already got 1,000. Now this is where the follow-up really comes into play, guys, because things like reorders, referrals, repeat orders from your VIP members, they're what really put those building blocks into place. And if you're not doing your follow-up, you're not going to get those referrals, you're not going to get those reorders, all those sorts of things. So you can see those 2 blocks just above. You've got clients, repeat orders, and referrals. You're aiming for around 500 volume points there. So that's looking at, once again, probably 5 people ordering at about 100 volume points a month. Gives you 500 volume. And then on the other side there, you've got VIP member, repeat orders and referrals. So that's looking at, once again, probably 5 consistent members ordering around about 100 volume points a month. And you know, that's probably, guys, just their own personal consumption. Now imagine, guys, if you actually have members who are, really going for it. They might be looking to go to supervisor. I'm going to show you what happens in the next slide. But the top, guys, the roof of your house, are any upgrades that you're doing. Now, this is one that might not always equal 500 volume points, but it's very easy to make it equal 500 volume points. Something that Andrew Foote down here in South Australia always has a really great example of is he always says, how many of your clients are using the shampoo and conditioner? And people always think, whoa, actually, not that many. Okay, imagine the impact that it would have if right now, no matter how big or small your business is, guys, if right now today, every single client that you have and every single member ordered the shampoo and conditioner. Just 2 products, 2 small products, not really expensive. Imagine the impact that would have on the amount of volume points that you get. So we're always looking to upgrade our clients and our members, obviously, so they get their level 10 results, but the impact that it has on your business can be fantastic as well. So yeah, there you go, the Skin Personal Care H24 and targeted range. Now this is what happens, guys. You've got your 2,500 volume point house. This is what happens when you start to get those members who are really building their business, they're looking to get themselves to supervisor, is what happens is your volume starts to go towards that 5,000 or 10,000 volume each month. And now if you've got 2 members sort of going for that 4,000 volume points to become supervisor, your business can probably pretty easily reach that 5,000 volume mark. If you've got a few more, you might have 4, 5, 6 members looking to reach supervisor, you could pretty easily reach that 10,000 volume mark. But you've got to make sure you can be duplicated, guys, and you've got to make sure that you're doing that fantastic follow-up as well.
All right, guys, so we're going to go through with you something that maybe you've heard from your coach before, or maybe you've seen on the Herbie Dream Team page. We're going to go through what exactly a wellness evaluation is. So what we do is we offer people free, hence the big capital letters, free. I'll go into a little bit more detail about that in a second. Wellness evaluations and body analysis to find out about their health and offer Herbalife as a solution to maybe some problems that they're having with their health. So what's really important for you guys is to make sure that you are a long-term customer yourself, just like Dom spoke about beautifully just then, and make sure you're using sort of all the products, or you've got a plan in place so that you can use all the products. Customer care begins at the initial contact, so right from when you start talking to the person. And people need to feel comfortable to start the program and then communicate with you. So if your initial contact at the start is maybe not as friendly, or maybe it's a bit standoffish, the person isn't going to feel comfortable with you having a wellness evaluation, starting a program, and communicating with you maybe some issues that they might be having along the way. So I'll go back to the free part and why we've put that in capital letters. Just something to keep in mind as well for you guys as Herbalife coaches. What Dom and I have recently noticed is there's quite a lot of gyms in the area that are now promoting wellness evaluations with their gym scales, but they're actually charging around $44 for a wellness evaluation that we as Herbalife people can give for free. So that's something that Dom and I have just used with a lead or a new person that we've been talking to. She was actually going to go to the gym and pay $44 for a wellness evaluation with the scales at the gym. So we offered her a free wellness evaluation with our scales and with the process that we're about to show you. And she's actually come to us and done a wellness evaluation with us that way. And that was a real big turning point for her in getting on the scales with us was that we were offering it to her for free. So just something to keep in the back of your mind if you meet people that maybe are looking to have a free wellness evaluation. Okay, so how to do a wellness evaluation. All right, so what I want you guys to think about is what sort of service do you like? And I'm talking in terms of if you're going to the food shops, if you're going shopping for clothes, think about what sort of service you like and maybe pop it in the chat if you guys are in there and just sort of tell us what you sort of like when you go into the shops. So what are you looking for when you walk into a store? What sort of service are you looking for? Type it into the chat. Let's see who's listening. Okay, Jess, friendly. Someone who looks me in the eyes and smiles. Lorraine, friendly, nice, happy. Yep. Yeah, awesome. Oh, friendly, not pushy. Smells good. Yes, definitely. Cool. Smiley, friendly, awesome. All right, so let's have a look here. Oops. Okay, yep. So all of the things that you said, friendly, enthusiastic, passionate, honest, reliable, someone with a positive attitude, treat people the way you would like to be treated, better still, exceed their expectations, look the part, professional yet friendly. So I know me personally and Dom as well, when we go out in the shops, what really turns us off is if we walk into the shops and someone doesn't greet us and say hello. So we like that friendly point of contact straight away. And that's the sort of service that we try to make sure that we put into our wellness evaluation. So we want to be friendly straight off the bat. We want to be enthusiastic, happy, smiling, straight away from that immediate point of contact. So what's your goal for the month? So make sure you've got a clear goal of how many clients that you want to achieve this month. And we should all have set that in our goals that we had to do for homework last week and then go to work. So the plan for you guys is to get 20 and keep 20 clients. That's the goal. That's the aim, because 20 is roughly, it's a good number to manage on your own. All right. Once you get past 20, it gets a bit difficult. Work with these clients and get incredible results and develop referrals. Okay. So develop that point where they are then bringing you to people and saying, hey, I've had amazing results with these guys, or I've had amazing results with this person. Why don't you check them out? Come here. I'll introduce you. That's the point that you want to get to, so that you've got 40 to 50 regular ordering clients in your first, second, third, and fourth level. So that means, as members, you want them ordering, not as clients that are paying retail. That's going to result in 2 to 3 sales each working day of the month. That means you're in business. That's the sort of momentum and business that you want to be driving and striving for. So this is a really cool gauge that you can use to keep track of your clients. And I know when I first started, this was fantastic for me. It really helped me hone in on who I was talking to each month, who was ordering products, and just help me have a visual of, the business that I had. So the little circles you see on screen, that's where you put a brand new client that you've gotten. So if I, let's say, got my mum on right in the beginning, if I got my mum on an advanced program, I would write her name, I would write advanced program, and I would also write the volume points that she ordered, so the volume points of an advanced program. But you don't just put in here people on programs, you can also put people who might just buy maybe a shake. So you would write their name, the shake, and the volume points. So if you've got anybody buying retail from you, pop them into this gauge and slowly fill them up. Well, actually, no, not slowly, quickly fill them up as the month goes by. So this is something you want to be doing every single month. At the end of the month, count up how many new clients you got, how many new distributors, so new members you got, and the total volume as well. So I can post up the document of this in the July Coach Academy page so that you guys have got that and you can print it off.
Cool. So let's have a look, guys. Well, that's all well and good. Wellness evaluations, they're fantastic, but how do you actually get people to a wellness evaluation? It's really easy. It's just finding that DMO, guys, that invitation to the wellness evaluation, which will obviously lead to a presentation. A number of different ways, and you can find them on the screen there. A couple that myself and Emily use quite regularly are flyers. We always offer, you know, a wellness evaluation, particularly if somebody rings up inquiring about a flyer to improve their health. Obviously, one of the services that we can offer, which, you know, is quite a good value. You know, it's free wellness evaluation. Like Emily said, some gyms are charging $40 for this sort of service, and we're providing it for free. So people see the value in that. We also run a lot of stuff on social media, so we have a lot of fantastic results from that sort of stuff. Basically, whatever you can think of, guys, is a way to get someone to a wellness evaluation. Whether it's just out and about talking to people that you meet, whether it's people that you know, if it's from a pool tab, whatever it might be. It's all about getting them on the scales so that they can, we can offer a solution to them. So what exactly is the invitation? Well, here are a couple of scripts, guys. Obviously, it's going to change. You want to find your own set of words. For example, for me, I found that obviously it was a lot easier to start off with a script. And then as I got a bit more confident on the phone, didn't need a script, I started to find my own words, and your words flow a bit better. And then you're just getting a better response. But the best way to start out is with a script like this. So, for example, if you're talking to someone that you know and they've shown a bit of interest, you could always say like, hey, Emily, I need a bit of help. I've started a new business in the health and nutrition industry, and I need to practice 20 wellness evaluations this month with my supervisor. Can you help out by being one of my wellness evaluations for this month? You'll learn a lot about yourself and your health too. If you're telling them it's free, if you're telling them, they're going to find out about their health, if you're telling them possibly even things such as, I need help, okay, that, they're doing you a favor, a lot of the time they're going to say, yep, no worries. Okay. If it's somebody that you don't know, maybe you say something like, look, I'm working with a nutrition company. One of the services that we're offering is a free wellness evaluation and body analysis. It's really great. You find out your body fat percentage, your muscle mass, you find out your metabolic age, and you can go into it like that. Don't, tell people, come and we'll get you on the scales. Okay. Because for a lot of people, and a lot of people particularly that we can offer solutions for, are overweight. And for a lot of those people, guys, they don't want to get on the scales with somebody that they've never met before. Okay. And certainly we've had people say, oh, no scales. No, I don't want to get on those. Okay. Because people are, they're embarrassed, they're anxious, whatever it might be, but they don't want to get on the scales. But if you tell them, look, it's a body analysis, it's a scanner, what it actually does is it breaks your stuff down, your muscle mass, your hydration levels, your bone mass, then I start to think, so it's not just about the number on the scale, it actually goes into all these details as well. So that's just one other thing that you can, sort of another way you can approach it, I guess. So make the booking, right? So once they're interested, once you've gotten their interest, make sure you book it in with them. Okay, because you don't just stop it at, oh yeah, you're interested. Okay, cool. Right, because that's not actually going to go anywhere for you. So pretty much all you need to do, guys, is just mention it a bit more what it's about, like I said on that last slide. So, you just got to step on the scanners. It'll bring up a few health indicators, all those sorts of things, and for you as well, is a fantastic tool when talking to them about the solutions we can provide. Okay, somebody's got terrible hydration levels. We have solutions for that. Somebody who has really low bone mass, we have solutions for that. Somebody who, needs to lower their visceral fat, we've got solutions for that. Okay, make it seem like you're busy. Okay, make it seem like you're busy because people get that FOMO, that fear of missing out. Okay, if they think that, I might not be able to get this, because they've only got an appointment at 2:00 on Friday, or whatever it might be, they're gonna really want it. Okay, it's funny how people work like that. If they think they're going to miss out on something, they really, really want it. So make it seem like you're busy. Make it seem like there's lots of appointments that have got booked up already, because everyone sort of wants one. And I've found personally that gets definitely a better response if you tell people, look, sorry, I've got a booking at that time. Can we do this time instead? You can read the rest of that, guys. So what do you actually need for a wellness evaluation? Now, the first thing and the key thing that we've really been talking about is the body scanner, which are the fantastic Tanita scales. Now, look, guys, Tanita scales are an incredible business tool, but they're not essential. Okay, certainly you don't have to have a pair of Tanita scales to get to supervisor. You don't. Okay, I'm sure that for a lot of you guys, if you haven't got a pair of scales, your upline or your coach or whoever it is, or a sideline, will probably have a pair of scales that they'll be willing to lend you. I know for us here in Adelaide, there's actually a pair of scales that you can use that's at the Herbalife warehouse. Okay, but it's not key. Okay, it's not key. It's a fantastic tool, but you can certainly do a wellness evaluation without the body scanners. Obviously, you need a personal wellness pass as well, and we'll show you a picture of what that looks like in a second. A result sheet for yourself so you can keep track of what's going on. The next thing, guys, is the wellness evaluation questionnaire. Now, there are plenty of these floating around. We've got another picture of one of these in a second that you can have a look at. But this is really, really good, guys, because this sort of goes through all those questions such as, what are you eating on a daily basis? What are your goals? What's your budget? All those sorts of things. Are you feeling tired in the afternoons? So it gives you an avenue into what solutions they might be looking for. Okay, you obviously need your presentation booklet. So that comes with, it's the sort of the perforated pages, and you can sort of rip them out and put them into a folder. Make sure you've got heaps of stories in there as well, because if you're offering a solution, Herbalife is a solution, and they say, well, what's Herbalife? It's really, really easy, guys, to show them, look, I've just got my folder here. Just really briefly go over what Herbalife's about and just show them a few results and a few stories. Obviously, you have the options and the prices in terms of the programs, and we've got a picture of that for you in a second, guys. And if you've got any other things that you might want to give them if they get started, because hey, who knows? You might have somebody who says, "Oh wow, these are my results. I want to get started on an ultimate right now." Okay, think what else could you give them to get them started? We've got the fantastic recipe booklet. There might be a flyer that you have, or there might be the weight loss challenge booklet. You might have that. You might have a weight and measure chart, all sorts of things, whatever you can think of, that's really going to help get them going.
All right, guys, so the process, okay? So you know now how to get somebody to a wellness evaluation, but now we're going to go on to how to actually do one. So you've got the invitation and the booking. Then you go into your wellness evaluation. So those couple of questions, which I can post up the sheet into the page as well for you. Then you go into the scales, okay? So then you get them onto the Tanita scales if you've got them, and you get them read, and you write their scores and everything down, and then you can go over with them their results. So when I'm doing a wellness evaluation, as I'm going through, and you'll get better as you go through, and you'll sort of get to know what numbers are good and what numbers are not so good. But I sort of start to think, okay, so their water's really good, or their bone's really good, and I start with that. So I would say to them, all right, I'll just go through your results with you. So you've got a fantastic water or hydration level here, and you've got fantastic bone, density. You've got really good bones, but we're looking over here in the body fat percentage, and that's sort of looking in the unhealthy range. So we could work on that. And I sort of start with a positive, maybe then go into the parts that aren't so positive, and then try and end on a positive as well. So I sort of sandwich the bad news in between two pieces of positive news, if that makes sense. Some people you'll get on the scales, and it's not looking good for all the numbers. Those people, you sort of just find what's better and use those sort of as the sandwich. There will be things that are better than others, but they may be still not the best. And you've just got to be real with them, and you've just got to be serious with them. So you just got to say, look, these numbers here, they're not the best. And I know it is very nerve-wracking when you've got to tell someone that their numbers aren't the best, but, that's when you can show the why Herbalife and offer a solution. So if their bone density is not too great and they've got quite weak bones, you can explain to them that Herbalife have a solution in the extra cal supplements. Or if their body fat percentage is really high and their visceral fat's really high, you can go over the villi and why Herbalife's the best. And you can share your results and other people's results, and then you can offer Herbalife as the solution. So that's the order that Dom and I, that we do our wellness evaluations in. And yeah, just remember, try and do it's like a positive sandwich, I suppose. That's the best way you could do it, and really try and feel what that person might be going through. If you were on the other end, if you were being told that your body fat percentage was really high, and most of you have as well, because most of you have been through this, just sort of see it from their point of view, and think about what you would want that person to say if you were on the other end of the scale. Whoops, we'll go back. So this here is an example of one of the wellness questionnaires there. So you've got things like you ask them what they're having for breakfast normally, what they're snacking on, what their lunch might look like, what does their water intake look like, are they having takeaway meals and how often, what kind of sleep are they getting, how much sleep do they need, when are they tired, what kind of eater are they. All those questions you can go through with them before you can get them on the scales. And if you don't have the scales, Dom and I didn't have them in the beginning. We just put it on our vision board, made it a goal, and just used this questionnaire until we were able to purchase our own scales. So like Dom said, it's not necessary, but it's a really good goal to have, because it just adds just that little bit of extra information that you can give to your clients or potential clients. Keep it simple, like it says. You're not a doctor or a counselor. Should only take 15 to 20 minutes if you're doing it correctly. If you're going over 20 minutes or under 15 minutes, you're not doing it correctly, and you need to hone your skills and just tighten up a little bit. That's an example of sort of some scales, what they sort of look like. Dom and I have the ones that have the 4 points of contact. So you've got the 2 hands and the feet. We have been told by someone who's studying medicine that they are the best ones with the 4 points of contact, and they're the most accurate. But there are other scales that we've seen people here in South Australia use that are just the feet ones that can read through the feet, and they are fine as well. But yes, the body analysis will measure their weight, their body fat percentage, their body water percentage, muscle mass, physique rating, basal metabolic range, their metabolic age, their bone mass, and their visceral fat. So it's really in depth, and can really give the person a good starting base on where to start with their Herbalife journey. This is fantastic. This is the tracker that we use, and we use this one because it not only has a spot that you can record their results, but on the back here, you're looking at the back, it also shows like what's healthy and what's not. So when they go home, we found that sometimes people would forget what we told them. If we told them that let's say their water hydration levels were not very good, and we told them that they needed to get them to maybe 55% from 40%, we found that they were forgetting what the healthy range was, where they needed to be. So this pass is great because it's got all the information on it. So when they go home, they've not only got their results, but they've also got this. So if they forget what you said, they can go back and look it up and find it out for themselves, and read a little bit more into to what you told them. So I can put up a copy of this as well on the page for you guys to use. It folds up into a little booklet, and yeah, we found that this is the best one for us to use. Okay, so when you're going through the results as well, always show the positive, like I said. So, oh, look, you have a very high body fat percentage, but your metabolism is so high, which is great. You're going to be burning fat like crazy on this program. So you're going through the scan results, like I said, and it says there, remember to keep it simple, stupid. So you don't need to go into too much detail, because if we go back here, like I said, they can go home and read a bit more information. You can calculate the protein number, so how much protein they need, and you can also calculate the calories as well. You can do all of that. And the coolest thing is when you get your 10 eater scales, you also get a little booklet that goes through how to use them and how to do all this stuff as well. They must take their body measurements, chest, weight, waist, and hips, and they must set some goals in terms of weight, or maybe they want to be a certain size. So maybe they're a size 16 and they want to get down to a 12. Whatever their goal is, they've got to write that down with you and set that with you. And you can ask them if they have any questions as well, because most of the time, they will have questions because it's a very new thing for them. I know when I first jumped on the scales, I didn't know that scales could read those kind of things. So make sure you ask them if they've got any questions so that you can answer. And if you don't know the answer, that's fine. Just endeavour to find out the answer for them within the next 24 hours. All right.
Alrighty, my favorite bit, and because this is the reason why, guys, this is something that you really need to get clear on and really need to get confident with, because this is the reason why Herbalife is so different from, you know, any other sort of shake that you might pick up on the shelf at Coles or Priceline or wherever it may be. Okay, and this is a question that we get asked a lot. So what makes this different? Or, you know, why is this different? Okay, and it's really, really cool to be able to tell people, you know, and I'll go into a little spiel about it here, guys, is that, you know, look, Herbalife is different because we're based on this unique concept called cellular nutrition. And that means that these products work at a cellular level. Okay, so inside your small intestine, you have finger-like protrusions called the villi. And these villi, their job is to absorb all the nutrients that we're putting into our body through the food that we eat and the stuff that we drink. Now, unfortunately, with stressful lifestyles, with pollution, poor diet, smoking, drinking, prescription medication, these villi become what we call energetically impaired, and they start to either break off or they clump up, and basically they can't do their job quite as well as they used to be doing. So that's why people, you know, might decide to start on a diet, you know, and after a couple of weeks they give up because they're not seeing a difference. Well, that's because their body can't actually absorb all the nutrients that they're putting into it. So the first thing that our products do, okay, is help to re-energize these villi. They clean out the small intestine and get those villi standing back up again, okay? The second thing that our products do is they provide the best micro and macronutrients that your body needs on a daily basis, okay, to move your body towards overall wellness. Now, as we know, the cells like to, you know, replenish themselves and reproduce themselves. And so what happens is the bad cells die off and they're replaced by good cells. And that's the process that we call cellular regeneration. So that's pretty simple, guys. That's a pretty simple way to go into it. You know, I've practiced that a number of times here at events in South Australia and during wellness evaluations. And, you know, you might have to practice it in the mirror, talking to yourself. Those dot points down the bottom are pretty well what I've just said. I've just obviously turned it into my set of words that I'm really confident when presenting. But the thing is, people will ask you this question: why is Herbalife different? What makes this different from whatever I can buy off the shelf? Well, this is one thing, and obviously we know the other thing is our fantastic client to coach basis as well. When doing a wellness evaluation or a presentation, whatever it might be, sorry guys there, stories are key. Okay, stories are key, and the more stories the better, because I'm looking at, I think that's Eva in the top left-hand corner there. And is that Eva?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Wow, that's an incredible result. And, you know, I probably am not going to relate to that as a guy. I'm probably not going to go, oh, look, this lady's got a fantastic result. I probably don't relate to that. I probably relate a bit more to Garen Jones in the middle there. Okay, he's looking ripped. He's looking good. That's the sort of result I want for myself. Okay, I'm thinking a middle-aged man of 40 years old probably isn't going to relate to the result that's in the top right-hand corner. Okay, that's not taking anything away from the result. It's a fantastic result, but he's probably going to relate more to somebody who's middle-aged and has lost some weight. Okay, we've certainly found, well, once we know who our target sort of audience is, that we make sure that in our little stories booklet, we've got stories that match up to that person, because they're the stories that people want to see. There's no use showing somebody who's really young, you know, the transformation of somebody who is quite old, because they don't relate to that story. Okay, they don't relate to it because that's not what they're looking for. Show them what they're looking for. Show them the solution that we can offer them. Okay, so fast, faster, and fastest. This was the programs that I was telling you about before. Now, the reasons that we offer these programs, they're not the only ones that we offer. We know that everything can be personalized to suit every single person, but these programs here are fantastic because these are the ones that those doctors that we've got on the nutrition advisory board and the scientific advisory board, they put these together and they say that these are the programs that are going to give you the fast, faster, or fastest results. Now, something else that I like to do, particularly during a wellness evaluation or whatever it may be, after you've asked someone, well, what's your budget? If somebody tells me, well, you know, I spend probably $10 on breakfast on my way to work, and then I normally get lunch, and that's about $15, whatever it might be, you work out their budget, and then you've got a sort of a figure in mind. So if somebody's telling me that they're spending $20+ a day on breakfast and lunch, but they're also looking to lose 20 kilos, well, hey, look, I've got a solution that's actually going to save you money and you're going to lose weight as well. And that's that ultimate program, $15 a day. You can even break it down, guys, to per meal. So an ultimate program at $15 a day, that's about $7.50 a meal. And that's including like all your supplements as well. That's including like your NRG, your probiotic, the aloe, everything. Okay. The quick start, that's $9 a day. That's $4.50 a meal. Okay. And even people who are struggling to get started on that, even like a shake, tea, and aloe, that's even cheaper. Okay. So work with their budget, give them an option that suits them. If there's somebody who only has $10 a day to spend, well, then you're probably not going to pitch them the ultimate. That's not saying they won't be able to make room in their budget for it, but a quick start's probably the best place for them to start, and then obviously add products in as they go along. Now, this is probably the hardest part of the entire wellness evaluation process, is closing the sale. So you've gone through their body analysis, you've gone through the questionnaire, they've worked out their budget, you've shown them the stories, the results, you've shown them the programs that we offer, and then all you got to do, guys, is say, which program would you like to get started on? And then don't say another word, because too often they'll be thinking in their head, I'm thinking about that ultimate program. And then you go, oh, look, I know the ultimate's quite expensive. Maybe you could just do the advanced. And then they're going, oh, yeah, maybe I will just do the advanced. And then you've just talked yourself out of an ultimate program, you know? You just don't say a word. And you know what? It gets pretty awkward. So I always like to make sure I've got my drink bottle there, and you can just have a good long sip on that 1 liter drink bottle, okay, and wait till they answer you. Probably because they're thinking in their mind, well, what one do I want to get started on? And they're thinking about, maybe I'll make room in my budget for the ultimate. Or, maybe I could change my breakfast around so I can have that healthy breakfast pack, or whatever it might be. And then whatever they say, and you're going to say, awesome, when do you want to get started? Because we're positive, we're thinking positive here, guys. We're thinking positive that, yep, they're going to love it and they're going to want to get on the program. So I think we showed you this picture last week, and this is something that's really key, and it's just talking about that duplication once again. But it's a really simple way to see the effect that duplication has on this business. Have a look at those incomes down the bottom. Now, I know we're not always just about incomes, guys, because we are about changing lives, but incomes change lives as well, right? For somebody like myself to be able to earn an extra $4,000 a month, like it's got in that first example, that's life-changing for me, okay? If I had a supervisor in my team, for them to earn another $4,000, that's probably life-changing for them as well. So these are examples that you can show people, but these are also examples that look at yourself and think, where would I like to be? Am I able to duplicate what I'm doing so that people can learn from me and then teach others to do that? That's all it's about, guys. You being able to teach somebody to do what you do. Look at that. You teach 2 people, they teach 2 people, they teach 2 people, over $4,000 a month. Obviously, once again, though, it's key for you to be doing your 2,500 volume points.
All right, guys, now we're almost finished. So we're just going to go into the homework for week 2. So all of you guys on the call should have done week 1's homework by now. So what we're asking you guys to do for this week is to listen to that disc 2 of the Millionaire Team training. We want you to keep filling in that COI notebook. So keep thinking about who you can jot down. If you meet new people this week, pop them in there. Fill in your daily itinerary for this week, just like we went over how to do that last week. Keep doing that. Do it this week as well. And we want you to practice 10 wellness evaluations this week. And I know that might seem like a really big number for some of you, but some of those techniques that you can use to do those wellness evaluations is to, message your family and friends and just say, hey, I'm doing this Health Coach Academy and, I really need a favor. I need to do these 10 wellness evaluations for my homework. Could you please help me out and be one of those people that I practice on? That's a really good way of doing it. And I know when I first did this academy ages ago, that's how I got my 10 done. Also, by doing your daily method of operation. So whether that's flyers, pull tabs, using the Fit Club system, whatever it is, you can get, your practice wellness evaluations done that way as well. So we want you to aim for 10. And if you get more than 10, that's incredible. We also want you to keep focusing on those 5 new retail customers this month that you're going to get. I know some of you have already got a couple already, which is fantastic. So for those that haven't, it's not too late. You've still got plenty of time for the rest of the month to get those 5 new retail customers. And we want you to post into the July Coach Academy page your favorite Jim Rohn clip. So we want you to keep doing personal development and keep listening to Jim Rohn. So we want you to find your favorite one. If you haven't listened to any of Jim Rohn's clips before, jump on YouTube and type in Jim Rohn, listen to a couple, find one that you really like, and then pop into the page so we can all listen and share. And then we also want you to post the feedback onto the July Coach Academy page about this call tonight. So post that, you know, you've been on here, take a selfie like Dom and I did at the start of the call. Take a selfie now and just post about what maybe you got out of this call tonight. And that is all we want you to do for homework this week. So take a screenshot, write it down, and yeah. Okay, so here are some videos. So video.herbalife.com is a great place to get the Jim Rohn clips as well. So you can also find him on YouTube, but this is another great place as well. And Mark Hughes as well. You can get those videos.
So now, before we close out the call, guys, I've got some exciting news for you, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you a little story here. Have you ever had a really interested client or a really interested member who wants to find out more about the products and how to get the best results, but you've got to wait, you know, it's a Tuesday and they've got to wait a whole week before they can listen to the nutrition call on a Monday? Okay, I know for a fact that I've had that happen to myself, and it's really frustrating for them. You know, you don't want to give them all the answers. Okay, they want to hear it from someone else, but you've got to wait a whole week until the nutrition call comes around. Well, exciting news, guys, because let me tell you what, let me let you in on a little secret, and you're the first to hear this. But as of tomorrow, tomorrow, Monday the 17th, guys, we will not be having the nutrition call on live anymore. I've been lucky enough to listen to the fantastic recorded one that Caroline and Julie Chalmers have both done. Now, look, the links are going to be posted up in your client pages, and I think Carrie's also going to put it up in Herbie Dream Team for us. So, look, this is a fantastic tool for us, for our business, and it's really, really great because now we've got that nutrition info at our fingertips at any minute, hour, any day of the week, whenever you can think. So it's fantastic, guys, because anybody who might be interested in finding out a bit more about the products, or new clients who might want to be getting their best results and they want to find out how to use the products, this is a fantastic tool for us to use. So as of tomorrow, guys, no more live nutrition calls, but instead there's an incredible recording. It's got heaps and heaps of stories, and Cara and Julie do a fantastic job of presenting it. So the links will be on your client pages and I believe Herbie Dream Team. And Carrie says hopefully by tomorrow. So there you go. Put that one in your books, guys, because that's going to be fantastic.
All right, I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. So we're going to close out the call now. We just wanted to leave you with these quotes here to remind you of what we started with. So make sure that, you know, those people that you are around are on the same mission as you, just like we spoke about at the start. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So make sure that you're hanging out with people who force you to level up. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.